I hate to sound weird because, I'm going to stop saying that, but it's hard for people to fathom this idea, and I was one of those people who would have made fun of people that said aliens and other beings and UFOs and da-da-da-da, all that kind of stuff. But the reason that very seldomly that there is a sighting of something like that is because they are all things. There probably have been forged, false ones made to scare people too. False videos made up, false things. A lot of people lie. In this human form, we can do a lot of horrible things to confuse people a lot. Some people that really know and confuse people on purpose. I'm not really too worried about getting too into depth about who did what and when we did what. Because we're all one thing in different pieces, fucking around with things they don't understand. Completely, they don't understand completely anything. Nobody here understands anything completely. Anyone who's got skin over bones does not understand anything completely, including me. And that's what I'm trying to find out. So what I was going to say is that with the aliens and stuff like that, think of, like the way that we react to stuff that we don't really understand, like people are like, oh yeah, aliens, ooh, yeah. Say somebody had a bad experience with a dog or a raccoon on their porch that hissed at them and scared them or barked at them and bit them or something, right? Well, then from their knowledge, which isn't knowledge, it's experiential, whatever you would take from experience. That one dog that bit them would scare them of a lot of other dogs. So they'd be like, oh my God, dogs, no. Okay, so if it was a thought in their head that they had never heard of, but they saw visions of dogs that bite you, they'd be scared of dogs like they are scared of werewolves, okay? Well, let's put that little thing together and say, aliens. People who haven't seen aliens or haven't experienced what an alien being or an astral being or anything like that is, would understand if I say that we are all aliens, actually some sort of alien entity or some kind of either higher or lower vibrational being in a meat vehicle kind of thing, but not to undermine it, just to try to put it as simple as possible. A mobile carcass. We're all MCs, mobile carcasses. I said that earlier today. I thought it was funny. I said it to myself in my head, mobile carcass. And that was my voice in my head, not the other ones. I know that sounds funny. But anyway, the aliens are more or less, people make them sound so horrible and scary. And just like other things, yes, there are treacherous, horrible, scary ones that would attack and harm things. Because those ones, okay, think about this. The beings and the races that could come here and communicate with us are so advanced that they know that we would respond with, like, aggression, so they don't show themselves. Sometimes there's ones that aren't as intelligent that try to make, say, like the underlings that aren't as highly advanced try, and they're the ones who get detected. Ones who've been captured or killed or hidden secret here are ones that were very low vibrationally intelligent in their form and, were concealed. So, but with the beings that could come here and that could just totally look at us and melt us, that wouldn't, because they're beings of compassion and love. Ones that are physical beings are, a physical being that could travel here has been through enough where the only reason they're able to travel here or do the things they are able to do on other dimensional levels is because they finally understood love, worked together as a whole race to develop techniques and methods and ways to do these things, because they all work together. They stopped disagreeing and saying, my way's right, your way's wrong, this is right, this is wrong, you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to follow me. That's those races, like, those are just my words for how they happened, but like, those races learned how to do that. They learned how to cooperate in total unconditional love and unity. If the human race could do that, or the human body could do that, because I guess we're a race. Yes, we're a race. But the human race is as many different species of humans, just like we say dogs, coyotes, and wolves. They're all the same kind of genus. They're all the same kind of thing, but they're different. Well, we say human beings, and we say black, white, Asian, Indian, Puerto Rican, all that kind of stuff. Well, oddly enough, some of those things are the same race as a white person, and some of them are different. The difference of our race and our being is by what vibrational entity is controlling us remotely from wherever they're controlling us. So I know that sounds weird, but keep bearing with me here. The whole reason that aliens are so spooky and scary is because people that didn't ever experience them made them scary, to make people afraid of them. The unknown is always scary. So because of that, people that have really met them or experienced other beings weren't scared of them. You know, they had already got to a point where they allowed their dimensional access to be open. You know, you can actually open your dimensional access. You have to intentionally want it. The weird thing is, if you don't want it and you don't believe in it, it's not going to show itself. I mean, it's to the point where you can't be like, I don't believe in a truck hitting me and stand in the road. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. I mean, you'd have to develop some kind of sense to be able to control your magnetism, to control metal at high rates of speed where you could deter it coming at you at a velocity, you know, and all kinds of weird shit like that. I mean, I've seen weird kind of things like this that are possible, that would be possible, but in a future generation, like probably 100 generations from now, if we survive that long without destroying ourselves, you know, like as this form, you know, because we will survive no matter what, infinitely, always. We always will survive, just not as a human being or a human form. So the aliens that we have experienced were scary because people who didn't know about them created stories and fictional things that, you know, depicted things that they would picture something unknown as, or as graphic and wild and crazy like vision as they could come up with, like a 1,000-foot tall, you know, million tentacle being, you know. But honestly, the things that are like that are beautiful, because they're not physical beings. They're light and astral beings, and they're beautiful, and they're not mean and like they're not all like that. It's hard to explain. I don't even know how to say it, but it doesn't even matter there. What I'm trying to say is that these things are hard for people to understand because they've been so limited up to now. And I'm 38 when this happened. This happened when I was 38, and everything that I believe at this point is totally whatever. It's just whatever. I mean, I believe it in one ear, or I believe it on one hand and not in the other. Like, I when it comes to stuff like my mom and dad being my mom and dad, I fully believe that because, hey, I'm here. I'm a witnessing example of that. But at the same time, they aren't only my mom and dad, and I'm not only their son, and they aren't only parents and not only children of their parents. They're so much more. They're beings that in this slow dimensional reality, their vehicle has worn down, and it's, you know, it eventually expires. But we haven't learned enough about how to preserve these vehicles because, all in all, I mean, think about it. Who really wants to stay in a world that's this stressful when they feel that there's no hope for it to be changed for the better? If you had everybody who believed that this world is just getting better and better and better, they would live for longer. But there's also another stopping point with that. The other stopping point with that would be the people who saw it getting better and better and better and feared getting old and losing it. If you got past the fear of when it's over, I know that there's more and it's going to be beautiful, even more beautiful, or just as beautiful, or just as elegant, or it's going to keep growing exponentially. If you have that mentality, no matter what form you're in, you could live forever in this form if you learn how to preserve it and follow the right methods and steps. But this is all stuff that nobody has ever done. Nobody. Because people get carried away and sidetracked with the stuff around them. You know, me knowing that I'm an astral god, beyond astral entity that has really witnessed my true self and the true self of all other things, not just me and a couple other people, all other things. Yeah, I don't know their back history because it's all just a story made up in their minds and the minds of their family and the minds of their family's ancestors that were passed down in this form. That's it. Those ideas are just ideas passed down all the way to our government and our wars and all that stuff. It's horrible, but all it is ideas passed down from other generations of physical form. So if we could really start somewhere, it would just be allowing the past to be the past and forgiving everybody and everything for everything. Whether or not they're still harsh and rude and cruel, we have to forgive them for that too, because they'll eventually see that, what the hell am I doing? Eventually. I don't know if it would happen overnight, of course not, but it would happen quicker with more people showing more love and forgiveness to those that are horrible. I mean, I know it sounds whatever, but aliens again are not scary at all. An alien is just as scary as watching a bee on a flower could sting you. The bee is only harmful when provoked or when its individual has a bad day or some kind of internal primal reason or instinctual thought to attack. Those things only happen when they feel they have to or feel provoked. The beings that could come here would never feel provoked by us because they know that we are at their mercy. They could come here and wipe us out, and that's not what they want to do because we're beautiful creatures too, and they love us, and they don't want to harm us. They want to help us, but we have to want to be helped. Does that make sense? I mean, it makes complete sense to me. I mean, if you think about it, the idea of spirits and Archangel Michael and, David and Matthew and all these things that people pray to and the God that people pray to is basically, if it was an energy and it's not here on Earth, it's an alien, okay? Think of it like that. An alien isn't a glob of slimy, mucusy pus and flesh trying to bite you with 70 mouths. No, it's not like that. I mean, it probably is on other astrally realized physical dimensions, but that's not happening anytime in any of our lifetimes. So don't worry about it and quit worrying about dumb stuff like that. Get over your fears, get over your egos especially, and get over your attitudes and your feeling that you're the most important thing, because in a way you are, because you're part of it all, but we all are the most important thing because we all are that thing eventually, just not in this time-space reality. So to be harmful or vulgar or mean to each other is just a horrible coincidence that's going to happen along the way. But through the right love, effort, and determination, we can do it. So I love you, all you human forms, aliens, astral beings, entities, and whatever the hell you are. Whatever you are, you're beautiful, and I love you. Thank you. Bye.